We're going to differentiate all of these functions, but I want to use the most efficient method for each one. See, the x is in the denominator. So first step, we're going to rewrite the problem. We're going to bring this x up by making the exponent negative. Now that we have it rewritten, we can apply the power rule. Take the exponent, multiply it to the constant in the front, and then subtract 1 from the exponent. I'm going to rewrite it so we don't have a negative exponent. So you leave the negative 12, and then it's divided by x to the 5th. This problem, we have 4 in the denominator. So I want to pull that to the front as a 1/4. This function, I'm going to rewrite that as x to the 1/2. Now we're ready to take the derivative by applying the power rule. Take this exponent, multiply it to the value in front, so you get 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8. And then we subtract 1 from the exponent, so we get negative 1/2. And then since this has a negative exponent, we're going to move it down next to the 8 in the denominator. So it's going to become x to the positive 1/2, and then I'm going to rewrite it as root x. So there's our final answer. For this one, we want to rewrite it so you have 4 and then x to a single power. This is really just x to the 1, and this is x to the 1/2. And to multiply these together, you leave the base the same, but then you add the exponents. So you get 1 plus 1/2 is 1.5, or 3/2. Now we can take the derivative using the power rule. So this is a constant. I'm just going to bring it down. And then the derivative of x to the 3/2, I'm going to move the 3/2 to the front. And then you're going to subtract 1 from the exponent. So 3/2 minus 1 is going to be 1/2. Real quickly, we're just going to divide the 4 in 2. It leaves a 2. So 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. And then we have root x. And that's going to be our final answer. For this next one, it's very specific. You have 2 terms on top, and you have a single term in the denominator. So you're going to essentially split the fraction. You're going to do x divided by x to the 3rd plus 3x squared divided by x to the 3rd. In my class, I call it the heart because I just want a visual that we're splitting the fraction. We're taking both terms and dividing them both by x to the 3. So remember, this is x to the 1 divided by x to the 3. That makes x to the negative 2. And then over here, you have 3x squared divided by x cubed. And so you're going to subtract those exponents. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So you end up getting 3x to the negative 1. Now we're ready to take the derivative using the power rule. You get negative 2x, and we're going to subtract 1. Same thing over here. You get negative 3x, subtract 1. I'm just going to move those terms with negative exponents to the denominator. And I'm going to leave the answer just like this. For this next problem, you have 4x times e to the x. When you have a product of functions, you're going to use the product rule. So applying the product rule, most teachers will just do first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. In my class, I like to do a little graphic organizer. I call it the fish. We're going to take the derivative down.